Most of you thought this day would never come, and most of you for some period of time were right, until now. Working over the full steering rack, and finally, hopefully, this is the last time that the wheels are not connected to each other. Yeah, I need 3/4, and that one's 7/8. So there's gonna be some slop in it. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, you're gonna hit the upper control arm first. So this little guy right here is the missing puzzle piece to my rotary engine. It might not look any different than any other weird piece of rotary engine, but this is a 12A iron. What's so special about this thing? Well, it all stems around the spot right here, the side port. So remember, this is not the rotor section of the housing. This is the side entry. So what you're seeing here is where air and fuel goes in and is sucked in or pushed in, depending on boost or vacuum, through the side, and the rotor swipes past, sucking it into the engine. This is an older one, and the way you can tell it's an older one is there are no coolant seals. So those will have to be addressed here. But the reason this is so important to my engine is of these ports right here. You can match them to the rest of the engine. So in a Series 5, 13B, these side ports become very similar, and once they're street ported, which is of course the side portings, you get a lot of magic and a lot of things that line right up. This is made possible really by the variety of you that watch YouTube videos, as well as, of course, the Patreon users. You guys have made this possible for everybody, so genuinely appreciative of that. Why? Because of that. That beast is ready to go under the knife for the final time. It's a massive amount of work that's being done to it, but this is the beginning of the end. And I'm not the type of guy that's a scope creep guy, so when I say it's gonna be done, it's the series of things that I plan to have done to the car to get it to running to life. The issue right now, tomorrow we are going out to Creaform's headquarters in the United States to go 3D scan this whole body. We've been talking about it for a while, but that allows me to make the carbon fiber molds for the whole front assembly, meaning that, if I get a little bit of a fender bender, I've got new front bumpers and fenders to go along with that. What does that require? Well, you see in my hand I have a tape measure, a crude measuring device used to measure why this car is 1 inch narrower than it's supposed to be in the diagram. So check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and start measuring all of the heim joint to heim joints and see where I'm missing an inch. This is actually 1 inch more narrow, 1 inch shorter than it's supposed to be. So this isn't even as wide as the car is supposed to be yet. So I wanna get that correct before I take it out to get scanned. Yeah, this is, for your viewing pleasure, supposed to be 78 inches wide. And there we are. We have 78 inches wide. That is a good sign. Of course, the camera angle gives you a little bit of a weird perspective, but it is, in fact, 78. We worked on the camber and all of those sort of aspects of this car, and that has definitely helped get us to the correct width. The problem now is camber, of course, but we're going to continue measuring the aspects of the suspension, for example, from heim joint to heim joint, and so on, to verify all that before we waste time scanning this vehicle. The upper control arm should be 10 inches, center of bolt to center of axis, and we are exactly at 10 inches. This is solid. Okay, lower control arm should be 16 3/4. Good old lower control arm is difficult to measure. Okay, lower control arm measurement is 16 3/4. My control arms are correctly positioned. This is good. So all those measurements are working out perfectly fine, except for one, the height of the suspension. Abel did an excellent job making this thing stick to the ground, but the problem is it was a little too far. So in this case, I have to lower the suspension about 3/4 of an inch. The problem is these fenders have to go bye-bye. So we're gonna cut up about 1 inch off of these custom fenders, which again, these were used as kind of a mold, a proof of concept. So I'm not gonna cry too much, at least on camera. This body needs to drop 1 inch. There is not 1 inch to drop. We're gonna get a little creative. This is originally just meant as a proof of concept, so we're gonna conceptualize it a little bit different. So we're gonna take off the sections that get in the way of dropping this tire. What's gonna ultimately happen is this body's gonna have to come out a little bit wider for the travel of the suspension. But right now we need to drop the car. This needs to go away. This is what happens when I get left on my own. I start doing weird shit. So this process begins, and of course, anytime you're working with something like this, you want to be wearing something like this. I cut a lot of corners, but eye protection is not one of them. So I can finally lower the springs that I've been dying to lower this whole time. This is just an approximation because everything needs to settle and whatnot. I'm just trying to get to the right area. Okay, we're about 1/4 of an inch away from the correct chassis ride height, and it's already starting to look much better. I just cut a little bit more off of each of the fenders, so it looks like a complete hack job, but we are so close. We're about 1/4 of an inch away from the correct ride height. And we are correct on both sides. Finally, I have a correct ride heighted car. It's a little dark, but there you can see that the camera's level and so is the lower control arm.